The film begins in the Stone Age, and we see a man returning to the cave where his family is, and he carries his wife a rose from the forest. And when they sit together, he makes her a ring of roses and wears it in her hand. And this is evidence of the interdependence that will remain between them forever. From that moment came the idea of the wedding ring that we see to this day. Nowadays, we are with a woman named Lucy. We know that she is a failed actress, so she worked as a marriage broker, and it is clear that Lucy is a beautiful lady and interested in her shape and dress. And this is what made her one of the most famous experts in the field of marital relations, because she is good at finding the right partner for many people in the city. Lucy's mission is to reconcile men and women from the upper class. And as for Lucy's belief, the compatibility between any two is a science that has special rules, so that everyone can find their life partner. On a normal working day, Lucy comes down from her house towards her work, and suddenly she finds a man who looks at her and admires her, and with her intelligence she understands that he is single. So she calls him and asks him if he is looking for the girl of his dreams because she may help him find her whatever the criteria he asks for. She introduces him to herself and tells him that she works for the largest marriage company in the city, gives him her business card and asks him to contact her at any time. After that, Lucy calls a client she has named James and tells him that she will meet Sophie, who she arranged an appointment with her the day before. She asks him what he thinks about her and whether he will meet her again or not, and she tells him that she understood through Sophie's words that he agreed in principle to associate with her. James surprises her and asks her to cancel his subscription to the company because he has not intended to deal with them again. Lucy is surprised and asks him why, and he tells her that he agreed with her to meet a 30-year-old woman, but she made him meet a 40-year-old woman, in addition to being fat, and he wanted a skinny woman. Lucy knows she doesn't work that way, and she tells him she's shocked because he only cares about appearance. So James gets annoyed and ends the call. Lucy goes to meet Sophie. Sophie is happy to meet James, sees that he is a suitable and handsome person, and she is excited to know what he thinks about her. Lucy tries to tell her the truth without shocking or hurting her, so she has to lie and tells her that James liked her, but he did not feel love for her, and that's why the topic failed. Sophie gets annoyed and blames Lucy for making her meet someone who is not suitable for her. Lucy says she can choose the right criteria for people and reconcile them, but she can't control feelings of love. Sophie tells her that she has been paying money to the company for 2 years and has not found anyone suitable for engagement. Then Lucy goes to the company, and there she finds Violet, her boss, having a special celebration for her because Lucy agreed between 2 of the company's clients, and they were officially engaged, and they were only a few days left. After the ceremony, Lucy stands to receive a speech in front of her colleagues, in which she informs them that their job is to meet the wishes of the client whatever they are, especially women because she is very sympathetic to them. After the ceremony, Lucy sits with her colleague and asks her about Sophie, especially since the company's employees convinced her with difficulty to renew the contract with the company. Lucy tells her that she couldn't find someone suitable for Sophie, and the reason is that Sophie lacked many things to be special. This bothers Lucy because Sophie became more than just a customer for her, but also her friend. But the problem is that Sophie wants to associate with a man who is at least 100 centimeters tall. Her colleague says this is one of the most requested by women, because women always prefer tall men. Her colleague knows that recently surgeries have been performed up to 15 centimeters in length, although the operation is expensive, but it increases the likelihood of success in the relationship. Her colleague changes the subject and tells her that she has to get involved, because the smartest woman in the company can't stay like this without a connection. Lucy replies that she either marries a very rich man or remains unmarried until she dies. Days later, Lucy Farah attends Peter and Charlotte, 2 people I have known each other, and there she continues to talk to women who know they are the reason for marriage. Lucy tells them that choosing a life partner depends on the person himself, but it is possible that if the person spends some money and contracts with her, he will find the right person in a short time. It is clear that Lucy is advertising herself indirectly, and this is admired by the groom's brother, Harry, who stands and watches Lucy speak. At that moment, one of the bridesmaids comes and tells Lucy that Charlotte locked herself in her room and asks her to go to her. Lucy goes and finds her sleeping on the bed crying, so she talks to her quietly to make her reveal what bothers her. Charlotte begins with superficial, unconvincing words, such as seeing marriage as a deal between her and Peter, and that she made her mother and father spend a lot on joy, and now she doesn't know if she acted right or wrong. Lucy understands that Charlotte doesn't want to complete the marriage, and that there is a reason other than the one she says. She asks her to open her heart and be honest with her, and tell her that everything she says will remain a secret between them. She also tells her that if she decides to cancel the joy, she will support and help her. Charlotte says that her sister is jealous of her because she married a successful and richer man than her husband, and she is afraid that her sister will figgle with her husband and separate from him, thus destroying her sister's life. Lucy tells her that Charlotte is a very sensitive person and cares about the feelings of those around her to the extent, but she draws her attention to the fact that before her engagement she had no value among the family, but now she has become important and everyone will take care of her and will treat her better. When Charlotte understands that, she hugs Lucy and tells her that she will complete the marriage. After that, the marriage is successful and the joy continues, and Lucy sits at a table dedicated to singles, and Harry comes and sits next to her, and Lucy knows that he is the groom's brother. She asks him why he is sitting at the bachelor's table, and he tells her that he is really single, but his mother wants to marry him as soon as possible. Lucy asks him about his job, and he knows that he works in the securities field. He tells her that he admires her intelligence at her work, and tells her that he heard her talking to guests, and that he liked her because she takes every opportunity to look for customers. He asks her if she is happy in her work, so she surprises him and tells him that her work is very difficult because she has great difficulty in reconciling the choices of men and women who want to get married, although she sees that the subject of engagement does not need all these complications, but the lack of love makes it difficult to engage. You tell him that he is a very suitable person to get along with any woman, because he has many elements that women constantly demand, such as height, wealth, dignity, and young age. Harry smiles because Lucy uses him to sign her, and tells her that's why he made him sit next to her. He asks her what she likes to drink, and before her hand tells him the drink goes down on the table. Lucy is surprised that her ex-boyfriend John did it, because he works as a waiter at the party. You get up to greet him, because they haven't met for a long time. During dinner, Lucy goes to look for John, and when she finds him, he tells her that he is surprised that she works in a marriage company. He asks her what makes any two suitable for each other, so she explains to him that she deals only with the upper class, and that the most important thing for them is the big family and money, but the rest of the qualities are only helpful factors. He asks her if it's possible that he and she are suitable for each other right now, so she thinks a little and tells him maybe they really are. She reassures him and his work as an actor, telling her that he is still a failed actor as he was in the past, and that he is acting in a play in an unfamous place, in addition to working in a company that caters at weddings. It seems clear that John is annoyed by his failure in his life, but Lucy tells him that at least he is trying and making an effort. She knows that she did the same as him when she failed to act, but her luck was better because she deals with the rich and the upper class in society. At the end of their conversation, John offered to take her home after the party, so she agreed. After that, Lucy enters the party to give Harry's card before she leaves, so Harry takes the opportunity and asks her to dance with him. Lucy agrees that Harry for her is a potential spoon and an irreplaceable opportunity, but Harry tells her that he intended to call her, but not for work, so she understands that he wants to get closer to her. She tells him that she is not the type to associate with, because her prerequisite for marriage is wealth. She knows that money is everything, and if there is money, there will be no problems in life. But her words don't stop Harry from continuing to flirt with her and offer her to take her home, but she tells him that someone else will deliver her. At that moment, John arrives and sees Lucy dancing with Harry. He understands that there is something between them, but he is silent and does not speak. After the party, Lucy gets in the car with John and tells her that he finally bought a car so that what happened last time they were together doesn't happen. They remember together when they left each other when they were going to dinner at a gal restaurant for their wedding anniversary, but they were late because John refused to pay the parking fee because it was expensive. Lucy offers to pay so that they don't lose the reservation, but he refuses, and this makes Lucy angry because they will lose the table and pay a fine. John is annoyed because he didn't like the idea of dinner in an expensive restaurant. He is poor and trying to save. He thinks that he rented a car and paid a lot of money, although they could have taken a taxi and saved money. Lucy gets out of the car and walks. John stops her and asks her to come back, but she surprises him and says she decided to break up with him because he is poor and has no money. They wake up from their memories, and Lucy asks John about his current life, telling her that he still lives in the same apartment he lived in when they were involved. But there are people who live with him because they pay the rent of the rest of the apartment rooms. When they get home, Lucy invites John to go in to continue the evening, but he refuses and says that the time is not right. Say goodbye to him and ask him to invite her to attend the play in which he is represented, and he agrees and leaves. The next day, Lucy returns to her life routine and meets her clients, each of whom mentions the characteristics of his life partner, although most of them are strange requests, but no one gives up on them. Lucy has to keep her smile all the time, although she is confused and does not know if she will be able to meet their desires or not. In the midst of all this, Lucy does not forget to find someone suitable for Sophie and succeeds in convincing someone named Mark to meet Sophie, hoping that they will admire each other and get involved. Lucy also decides to change her life routine, so she agrees to go out with Harry and is fascinated by the luxurious places they visit. She decides to be honest with Harry. One day, Harry surprises Lucy and gives her a big bouquet of roses. That day, Lucy opens her heart to Harry and talks to him frankly, telling him that he is starting to like him because of his calm personality and handsome appearance, and that he doesn't care about the value of bills in the places they go to. She explains to him that this is not a problem, because all this proves to him that he was born rich and lives a comfortable life. Although it is an ideal choice for any woman who is thinking of marriage, she believes that she is not suitable for him because she is not of his level, especially since she is older than him, poor, and has many debts. She tells him that it makes no sense for him to associate with her because he can associate with better women than her. He tells her that he is looking for a special woman who understands married life and that he wants a successful and stable married life. He knows her that he likes to be associated with her, and here Lucy can't refuse, so he takes her and they continue the evening in his apartment. While Lucy was enjoying her life going exactly as she wanted, John called her but she didn't answer him because she was busy, so he left her a message telling her that his play would start next week and that he would be happy if she attended and watched the show. At that time, Lucy woke up and greeted Harry, who gave her the keys to the apartment and then went down to work. Then Lucy called Sophie to find out what she did with Mark when she met him the day before, but Sophie didn't answer her call. Lucy called Mark and learned from him that he was happy with the interview and wished to repeat it. And for him, Sophie is the girl he was looking for, and he told her that they were in harmony together last night, and Mark wanted to know Sophie's opinion of him. Lucy was happy that she was finally able to make Sophie get attached to a suitable person, telling Mark that she would talk to her and then come back to communicate with him again. When the call ended, I heard a message from John informing her that he had invited her to the play in which he was acting. But when Lucy went to work, she was surprised that Violet wanted to talk to her, and I was shocked when I told her that Mark had assaulted Sophie while they were together and informed her that Sophie's lawyer called her and told her that he would file a case against them. Lucy asked to talk to Sophie, but Violet refused and told her that she was not responsible for the actions of the company's customers, and explained that her mission is only to reconcile people and that the accusations are directed at the company and not to her personally. Lucy asked if this had happened before in the company, and Violet replied that this is the third time, but this is normal in their field of work, because controlling the actions of customers is beyond their control. Lucy came out of Violet's office annoyed, feeling guilty about what happened to Sophie. She entered the bathroom and reviewed Mark's information, crying, and she thought she had forgotten any information about Mark's behavior, but she was surprised that there was nothing to condemn him. When she finished her work, she met Barry, and they went together to attend John's play. After the end of the play, John tried to find out their opinion, so Harry told him that he admired his performance, especially since acting is difficult. But he managed to perform his role with high professionalism. John was happy and invited them to have a drink at the bar. There, John talked to Lucy in private and noticed that she was upset. So Lucy felt relieved that John still understood her and knew her character, unlike Harry, who did not notice that she was upset. When John knew that the reason Lucy was annoyed by her work, he tried to relieve her and asked her if she was going to marry Harry, especially since he is a rich person with a lot of money. Lucy understood that John hinted at her that she was still materialistic and loved money, so she got angry with him and left him and walked away. The next day, Lucy sat with new clients, but this time she changed her view of them and saw that they exaggerate their requests, that they think they are special and no one can refuse to associate with them. Lucy began to get bored with the idea of looking for customer requests and trying to find someone suitable for each of them. She decided to do the exact opposite and confronted them with reality and told them that if they were really special, they would not have remained unmarried until now. I also explained to them that a partner doesn't have to be perfect to the extreme, because they may be shocked if they find out that he is lying, and this affects them. Because Lucy was talking to customers, Violk called her to her office and told her that because of her behavior, a large number of customers cancelled their subscriptions to the company and wrote negative comments online accusing the company of lying and deceiving. Lucy replied that she thinks these customers are really lying to customers. Violk understood that Lucy was still affected by what happened with Sophie, so she decided to give her leave to rest. But Lucy told her that if she took a vacation, she might not go back to work. Violk replied with a calm smile and said she would come back because her work loves it. Before Lucy responded, their company mates interrupted them as they celebrated because one of their colleagues succeeded in matching 2 customers. Lucy refused to celebrate with them and left the place. The first thing Lucy did during her vacation was to decide to meet Sophie to apologize to her because she refused to answer her calls. Lucy entered Sophie's Instagram account and started browsing her photos and noticed that there was a certain shop where she appeared a lot in her photos, so she decided to go to the same shop. She kept waiting for her, and when she saw Sophie, she asked her to talk. But Sophie was hurt by what happened, and she shouted at her saying that she thought they were friends, so she trusted her. But she handed her over to anyone to get rid of her, because she saw her as a bad commodity. Lucy tried to make her understand that things are not as she imagined, but Sophie didn't believe her and left the place. Lucy returned home unable to understand what happened, and she was terrified of the idea that she was the cause of an assault on a human being, and she had no one to talk to except John. So she called him and told him what happened, and after she finished her talk, John called her and tried to insult her, and told her that she could not anticipate the behavior of her clients, and that it was not her fault that Spon was a pervert and gave her wrong information to reach his goal. John kept talking to her until her nerves calmed down. Then she ended the call. At night, Lucy went to Harry's apartment and brought her bag because they were traveling on a week trip. At that time, found out that Harry was carrying a wedding ring in his bag, so she felt nervous and didn't know how she would act when he came forward for her engagement, and accidentally noticed that Harry had an operation on his leg to increase his height. She decided to talk to him frankly, and when Harry learned that she had discovered the process, he told her that he was investing in his body to become a desirable person among women. He told her that he was short and lost confidence in himself, but now he has become a perfect person, and the proof of this is that she agreed to associate with him. Hosey replied that she found in him everything she wanted by her standards, but she couldn't love him, and she was sure that she wasn't the right woman for him. Harry asked her if this was because of the operation he did, but she denied it, and assured him that the most important thing in the relationship is to have love. Unfortunately, this love didn't happen, and although it broke Harry's heart, he understood her position. The next day, Lucy gathered her things and went to John's apartment. But John did not allow her to enter because of the chaos in the apartment, so he went down to receive her. She knew from him that she broke up with Harry, and that the problem is that she was supposed to travel on a trip with him for a week, so she rented an apartment because she doesn't have a place to stay now. John suggested that they walk around the city and then stay in a hotel, told her that he would invite her because he recently paid for his play, and gave her the impression that he had become rich. Lucy agreed and felt happy in the car with him, as in the past. As they were walking, they saw the car of the company where John worked, and they understood that it was going to deliver food to a wedding. They decided to follow the car to see the party. There they were surprised that the party was very simple, but full of joy. Lucy was focused with the groom and the bride, and she felt that their joy would not last long, because once married, they will begin to quarrel because of the burdens of life, and the end will be separation. John understood at that moment that Lucy had become very pessimistic about the idea of engagement, but he didn't talk about it. At night, they changed their clothes and sneaked into the party where they were invited. Then they danced together. Lucy tried to get closer to John, but he walked away from her. When she went after him, he asked her if she was trying to forget Harry. He mentioned that poverty was the reason for the end of their relationship. He told her that he was still poor, and his status had not changed. But he still loved her and wished to marry her. All he wants is to stay with her until the end of his life. But he is afraid to return to her and then leave her, because she will not live the life she dreams of. Lucy was surprised by his words and told him that meant he hated her and not loved her. She told him that she was a materialistic person and loved money, and that anyone in his place would hate her and would not think about being associated with her. They left each other and she went crying. At that moment, Sophie called her terrified and crying and told her that Mark was knocking on her apartment door and wanted to open. She told her that Mark looked drunk and unconscious and that the police told her that they could only intervene if he broke into the apartment. Sophie was scared and unsure what to do. Lucy quickly took John with her to Sophie's apartment. When they arrived, they found Mark gone. Lucy came in to check on Sophie and calm her down. Sophie thanked her for helping her. Lucy hugged her and told her that she was her friend. Lucy told her that she was going to quit her job, but she decided to continue until she found the right person to make up for the mistake that happened. Sophie laughed and asked her to be careful in the future because she can't stand any further assault. Lucy reassured her and promised her that she would find the right person for her. The next day, Lucy walked out of Sophie's apartment and found John sleeping waiting for her in front of the apartment. She reassured him about Sophie and told him that she was fine and she understood that she should take legal action against Mark so that he would not approach her again. She thanked him for standing by her and helping her. John told her that he changed his mind and agreed to return to her and told her that he would work day and night to believe in a life worthy of her. Lucy was surprised and told him that she wanted nothing but to be with him. After a while, we saw Lucy talking on the phone with Vilt, and she reassured her on Sophie because she found her a suitable person and related to him. Lucy was happy that Sophie was successful in her life with her new company. She also helped Harry find a suitable partner for him as well. Because of what happened, Vilt decided to promote Lucy and increase her salary. At that time, John came and turned the rose he was carrying into a ring and asked Lucy to marry. Lucy immediately agreed without hesitation because she understood that emotional attachment and feelings are much more precious than money. And so the movie ended.